Welcome back to P Mr. P. I'd like to teach you or let you have a go at something called a loop juggle today. Ideally, if you have 2 tennis balls, this works really well for the activity. If you haven't got 2 tennis balls, you can use 2 small items, 2 bean bags. I'm going to show you how to do it with 2 little cuddly toys in a minute as well, but bean bags work best, especially for this first bit. The first thing you need to do, which I always like to practice, especially with the Key Stage 1 children, is just a simple bouncing and catching. So I'm going to put one of these tennis balls down and just practice bouncing and catching the ball to myself. Please do this on a patio or hard flat surface. You don't be doing it on soft fluffy grass because the ball obviously won't bounce up. So just practice bouncing the ball. Once you get the hang of this, okay, you can obviously spend a bit of time, pause this if you need to, but just basically bouncing and catching the ball. It's called a seesaw bounce, where it's going from one hand to the other. That's going to be really important for the first aspect of this. You can also do a seesaw throw. Just getting used to throw the ball gently side to side. Obviously, if I want to make it a bit harder, I can throw it a little bit higher. You do about this sort of height. Now I can start to bring 2 balls in. Now the first part of this skill we're going to try is called a drop, swap and catch. So I'm going to drop the ball, swap hands with this one, then catch when they land. So it's called a drop, swap, catch. If you notice what I'm not doing, which a lot of mistakes people make, is they drop the ball, then they throw the other one as well. It makes it a bit harder. So it's simply a drop, swap hands, catch, drop, swap, catch. And try it the other way, so I can drop with this hand, swap, catch, drop, swap, catch. If I need a bit more time, I can throw the ball up. So rather than doing a drop, I can throw the ball up, which gives me an extra second, swap hands, and then catch. So throw, swap, catch. That makes it a little bit easier. Remember to throw the ball just slightly in front. You don't want to throw the ball, then be having to go fetch it, like I decided to do. And what you can then try and do if you want to make it a little bit harder, little progression for you, is throwing the ball soon and a quick bounce. So it gives me a little bit less time to swap hands. So it's still a bounce, swap, catch, but it's just a little bit quicker. So I'm actually bouncing the ball into the ground. If you've not got very good tennis balls, you might need to give it a bit of an extra throw to get it down, to get it to come back up. And again, as you can see, while I'm talking and doing this, if you watch the balls, they're actually going in a loop, which is why it's called a loop juggle, but that's a downward one. What we're going to build up to doing is, bit like we did earlier with our seesaw, we're going from one side to the other, is we're going to add another ball in. And I'm going to throw this one. If you've got different coloured balls or bean bags or whatever, this does help because it reminds you and gives you a visual cue of what you actually, which ball's throwing, which ball's swapping. So I'm going to throw this one, swap hands to that one in the air, and then catch. So a bit like our throw, let it bounce. I'm just taking the bounce out. So I'm throwing it gently, swapping hands, and then making a catch. So throw, swap, catch. The higher I throw it, the more time I've got to swap hands. What I don't want to do is make it a hard catch by throwing it really high, swapping hands, and then be waiting for it for ages to come down. So a little bit higher, because there's some time to swap hands. What you can also try and do, as you probably noticed, I'm doing all my right hand throwing. It's because I'm right-handed, but it's very important we go the other way. So I'm going to practice this way as well. And then the idea is the quicker I get at this, the better I get this, the quicker I can do it. And then as you can see, if you watch the tennis balls, they're going around in a loop. Now obviously the lower I throw them, the harder it becomes. So I need to practice all of those steps we go up to. If you need to go back to the start of the video, pause it as you go along. Obviously those are the steps to make it in towards the loop juggle. Now I know a lot of you 5s and 6s will be going, oh, that's easy. So a couple of challenges to make it a little bit harder. One of the challenges you can try and do is I'm actually going to balance on one leg and I'm going to try and loop juggle around my leg. Now if you've got a bench or maybe a chair, handy here, I can pop that down and I can actually balance my foot on the chair to help me with this to start with if you haven't got a great balance or when you begin with. I'm going to throw this one over my leg, pass this one under, so it goes around my leg like that. So I'm throwing over, so this ball throw is going slightly over, around, and so on, and I'm balancing around there. I can take that chair away when I've started to get my balance. I'll show you front on for this one, so I'm going to balance, use my other leg this time. I balance on one leg, this ball's going to go over, that one's going to go under my leg, and catch it around that way. So. And then the idea, let's try to show I was balanced and I was going to step back. So I'm actually balanced on one leg as I'm doing this, and I'm throwing it around. You get the idea. Obviously it's important to throw it on the other leg, so I might try to throw it the other way this time as well. So I'm going to throw my left hand, pass under my right, and then go that way as well. I can also throw it behind my back. So if I start with one hand behind my back, the ball's in this hand, I'm going to throw this ball in the air, quickly switch hands. So I'm going to catch with my left hand. Well, actually I'm going to grab the right ball first. So I'll grab with this one first, and then my left hand will free to catch. So it's basically a throw, swap, catch. Throw, swap. Nearly dropped that, that would have been embarrassing. Throw, swap, catch. And the idea, I'm just doing that loop exactly the same as I was doing before, but making it harder by doing a pass behind my back. The slightly harder version is keeping your hands out in front, rather than having your hand there already to start with. Okay, have a go at loop juggle. Hopefully you don't drop it as many times as I did.